Hey, everybody. Let's get my screens going for everyone. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys all hopping on here. I'm excited to chat with everybody this morning. Happy Saturday. All right. So if you can see and hear me okay, can you just type a yes? Hi Jane in the chat, and that way I know you guys can all see and hear okay. All right, awesome, great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see. Oops, I need to make it bigger real quick. Uh-oh, it signed me out. One quick second. So tell me while I get this fixed, it signed me out of my slides real quick. Tell me where you guys are tuning in from. I'd love to know. I am tuning in from Lee Summit, Missouri, which is close to Kansas City, close to you, Jane. Very cool. All right, I'm going to move my slideshow and make it bigger now. Okay, Idaho, Texas. I just moved from Houston not too long ago, April. That's exciting. Okay. All right, let me know if you guys can see my screen okay. Welcome back. I see some of you guys back. Welcome back, David. Pennsylvania. Awesome. Idaho, I've never been there. All right. Okay. Can you guys all see my screen okay? It should say Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy up there. Drop a yes or a thumbs up if you can see it. All right, great. Hey, Dorothea, good to see you on here too. You're in sweet leads, aren't you? I'm excited about that. All right. Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me this wonderful Saturday morning. I am super excited to dive in with you guys and show you either for the first time or again on how you can take an exciting journey into business ownership, specifically with a bookkeeping business, and be able to work from home or from the road or wherever you want to work and be able to achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial, location, and time preferences. So by starting a bookkeeping business, you can easily get to the point where you can make $5,000 a month, but only have to put in about 10 hours a week to actually handle the bookkeeping work for those clients. And you can really get up to this amount within just a few short months. And this is possible even if you currently work full time, you have kids at home, and even if you have never done bookkeeping before. So this path right here is what I'm going to be talking about today. And so if this is something that you are looking to accomplish for your family, then you guys are all in the right place. So in case you are new here, my name is Tiffani Higgins. I'm a CPA. I'm a mom of 5, and I founded the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy in 2019 after I experienced all the wonderful things that happened to our family since we decided to start our own bookkeeping business 4 years prior in 2015. So I wasn't expecting or planning any of this stuff to happen, but I was able to actually work part-time from home, growing my business with a 6-month-old on my hip and 2 elementary school age children quickly and easily and by myself because my husband was working about 12 hours a day away from home. And I was able to grow my business, fairly easily, so much so that within about 7 months of starting my business, my husband was able to quit his corporate job and come home as well. So he retired on Christmas Eve of 2015. So we just celebrated our 8-year anniversary of both of us being out of corporate America and being fully self-employed, which is really, really awesome. So I grew my bookkeeping business steadily over a few years until I was making over $200,000 a year. And we were working less than a 40-hour work week, close to it, but most weeks it wasn't even a full 40 hours. Because of this flexible schedule and, relatively low time commitment between two, eligible working adults at home, we were able to do the things that we wanted to for our family. So, for example, we grew our family. We ended up deciding to have another child and we got surprised with twins. and brought the twins into the world. And during their entire first 2 years of their life, I was actually able to nurse them. And that's a very demanding thing to do. It's a round the clock, constant thing. And, if I had to work a corporate job outside of the home, there's no way I would have been able to do that. So it was nice to be able to choose to do that. But also at the same time, my business kept growing and thriving during this time period too. So we never took a hit on our finances whatsoever for that entire period, which is really great. We then also decided to homeschool our older three kids. Right after the twins were born, they were about, I think they were close to 1 when we decided to start homeschooling, and we actually moved. We needed a bigger house, so we moved to a different city and started homeschooling our kids. And during this entire time, my bookkeeping business still continued to thrive and grow. We were able to handle it while balancing, all of our family duties and everything as well. So I'm excited to show you guys exactly what that looks like, so that you can decide, can you reach your goals for your family financially and otherwise with a bookkeeping business. So I would love to know, type a yes in the chat if this is you. Would you like to work from home with reduced hours, but have more money coming in and still be available to your family anytime they need you? So if that is you, if this resonates with you, type a yes in the chat so I know. And if you are typing a yes, you guys are here in the right place, and we are going to show you exactly how to do that. So a lot of times when you guys get on webinars, it's like give you a little bit of a taste, and then you have to upgrade or whatever, which obviously we want you to upgrade into our academy. But this entire webinar is going to give you all the details on what a bookkeeping business looks like, what's the timeline, how to run it, how to do marketing, all of those kinds of things. Now, then we have our Bookkeeper Academy that actually helps you execute all of that. So I'm going to share with you guys lots of details about that coming up. But this webinar is going to be really informative, so you can walk away from this with a clear plan and a clear path of how you're going to be able to, have all of this right here that I'm sharing on the screen right now. So here at the Bookkeeper Academy, our mission is to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing the connectivity with their families by offering the education and framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. This is why we're here. This is what we stand for. But our fun motto is have your cake and eat it too. I always hated that saying that you can't have your cake and eat it too. Why not? Why would you have cake and not eat it? So we are actually here to help you have both. You shouldn't have to choose. And you don't have to choose between being the parent you want to be, but also being able to fully provide for them financially. So we don't choose. We have the best of both worlds, and we show our students how to do that as well. And on this call, I'm going to show you how you can have your cake and eat it too. Be able to reach financial freedom for your family, whatever that looks like for you, while being able to spend time with them on your terms. So I'm curious who all we have attending today. I've seen a few familiar names in here, but if you've been on a live webinar with me in the recent past, type a 1 in the chat. And if this is your brand new first time attending one of these webinars, type a 2. And I would love to see who all we have here. All right. Eileen, this is the first time you've been on here. I can't imagine that. It's good to see you on here. Elena, all right. Okay, great. So we have a lot of new people and quite a few returning people as well. This is awesome. Okay, so welcome back, everyone that is returning and getting more comfortable with the idea of taking the plunge into business ownership. For everybody that's new, welcome to our webinar. We're going to go over lots of info, like I mentioned, and I'll stay on until all of the questions are answered. If you have to leave early, I hope you don't, but if you do, this is going to be recorded, and my team is going to be reaching out to you. For most of you, probably my husband will be reaching out to you and getting you guys access to the replay. So that way you can watch anything that you may have missed, but also so you'll have a direct line to us in case you have any questions, especially and specifically if your spouse or significant other, or anybody that's going to help you make this decision has questions too, we're always available. So also I do these webinars every Thursday and Saturday for now at 10 a.m. Central Time. So that's why some returning people are on here. You could hop back on again. You could bring your spouse the next time or invite somebody else that you know might be interested in this as well. Everybody is welcome to attend. And I love questions, love questions. So here at the Bookkeeper Academy, that's kind of our foundation. So don't be shy. If you think of anything at all, feel free to just type it in the chat and I will answer every single question. Transparency is one of our core values here at the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I would love to help clear up any question you have so you know exactly what this path to financial freedom could look like for your family. And it's, fully clear in your mind what you're going to be jumping into. So just drop those in the chat at any point and I will be happy to answer them. The agenda for this call today, just so you guys know what we're going to be covering. The first thing we're going to talk about is the investment. If you decide to, this sounds great to you and I want to upgrade into the Bookkeeper Academy, I'll go over what the investment is and the monthly payments as well. Every single person that wants to join our academy is approved on the smallest payment plan that we've ever offered. So we have a special lender that services our clients specifically. So I'll go over that here pretty soon as well. And then after we talk about the investment, we'll get that out of the way so you guys know exactly what to expect should you decide to move forward. And then we'll dive into your goals next. So it's really great to kind of outline your goals and get realistic about what you want to accomplish for your family by starting a business. Why do you even want to do this? What are you going to get out of it? And then from there, once we determine what your goals are, I'll then be able to show you why a bookkeeping business is ideal for your family, but also how you can utilize it to help you reach those exact goals. So you'll be able to understand, approximate timeline it's going to take you to get to this point and have something to strive for. And then lastly, I'll show you how our team will help you kickstart your business and help you build that foundation that you need to carry this success into the future for years to come, whether you're an experienced bookkeeper or if you've never even heard of QuickBooks before. So type a yes in the chat if this sounds good. This covers everything that you guys want to learn today. All right, great. Fantastic. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of things come in. If you guys aren't seeing it in the chat, just FYI, people can chat directly with me too. So if you do want to chat with any of the other participants, you can change it to where it says everyone instead of hosts and panelists in the chat feature, and then everyone can see it, but I can see everything. So, okay. Diving in, I'm going to give you guys some details first about the Academy investment, how you can get started with our new guaranteed funding program. And then if you're new here, you will be able to see how you can turn this investment into lifelong money for your family. So for the full 12 months of the Bookkeeper Academy program, the investment is $12,000. And this is an entire year of support helping you learn the skill of becoming a bookkeeping business owner. And we literally help you go from zero or brand new, potentially a brand new business owner and brand new to bookkeeping, to making $100,000 in your bookkeeping business working part-time. So when you enroll in our Bookkeeper Academy, obviously you can pay the full $12,000 up front, but we also have some really awesome payment plans that I'm going to show you guys about too. So typically when you invest in something, you're expecting a return on your investment, right? So if you invest in the stock market or real estate or a savings account, you're expecting, interest payments or growth or, equity in your real estate. So we're expecting a return, right? Well, when you invest in yourself, in your skill set, and specifically when you invest in a business or starting a business, that's always going to have the highest return that you can get on anything. And then what we typically recommend there is to take your business profit, the return that you get on starting your business, and then utilize that to invest in other things, like the stock market or savings account or real estate or whatever it is that you like to save and for the future, right? But those other things typically have a very low return on investment, and it's supposed to compound over time. And it takes sometimes years, 3 to 10 or even longer, to actually see that return on your investment. So with a bookkeeping business, though, we are able to show you how to make almost a 10x return on your investment within just your first year. And for those of you that come into the program that are interested in seeing how much you can grow your business, I have seen a lot of people double their bookkeeping business year over year. So I have a student, specifically an example of a student right now that she is going to probably exceed a $500,000 bookkeeping business in the 2024 year. And she started at the end of 2019. So every year she's kind of doubled her growth, which is, very, very doable in a bookkeeping business if it's something that you want. So sometimes people join our program and they are looking to work less. So they want to make the same amount of money, but they want to work a lot less, maybe because they have very young kids at home or sick relatives or things like that. But if you do want to make a lot of money, it's something that you can get a really huge return on your investment. And we're set up, like I said, to do almost a 10x return on your investment in the first year. And I've had quite a few students get more than a 10x return on their investment in that first year as well, which is pretty cool. But the other cool thing about our program is that our students can start making money right away. So it's not like college or anything like that where where you have to go through the whole program before you can actually get out there and get clients. You don't have to do that in the Bookkeeper Academy. So you don't have to go through the full year before you start making money. I've had students that have actually gotten their first client on their first or second day in our program. And we help them then fill in the gaps of what they don't know as they're helping this client so they can continue to make money. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But because of this fact, our students can get clients so quickly and start bringing in income to their business right away. We have a lender that's willing to approve everyone that wants to join our program. So even if you have bad credit, that's okay. They do run a credit check, but they don't deny anyone unless you've defaulted on one of their loans before, but that is very rare. Also, if you don't have a job right now, they still approve you. And even if you have a tight budget, totally okay. They want you to commit to the monthly payment, but I'll show you here pretty soon how quickly you can get clients that will exceed that monthly payment for the lender. So even if you can only squeeze out that monthly payment for 2, 3, 4 months while you're building your business, it's going to be a non-issue because you're going to have bookkeeping money coming into your family, which is pretty cool. So again, everyone's approved for financing, and I'll go over those details really quick here too, so you guys know. But the monthly payment for the Bookkeeper Academy program is $640. So you can really get started building your own business with only $640 down. This is actually the equivalent of only 1 to 2 super small clients. So if you can make money right away, and you only need 1 to 2 clients to cover the investment, then you can see how this can easily be expanded and money can be brought into your family, every like second, third, fourth, fifth client. That's all going to be straight profit for you. So I'll go over a little bit more details about that as well. Now, this is based on a 24-month payment plan, which would put you at paying a total of $15,360 over the 24 months. Here recently, too, I've seen some of the students, they must have lowered their interest rate because some of the students are actually paying only like $14,000 right now. But what's really great about this is they offer to waive the interest. So if you pay it off in 12 months or less, then you don't have to pay any interest at all. And a lot of our students are actually able to do that because of what's called new client sign-on fees, which I will show you all about on an upcoming slide. So you can see how you could pay this investment off super quick and then have the rest of the year of just straight profit. So, and then I'll give you guys some information on applying for funding if that works for you guys as well and you like everything you hear. Obviously, you guys can pay us directly. The couple of routes that we offer, obviously, is paying in full with a debit, credit card, or bank account. And then we also have an option where you can pay $3,000 down to get started right away. And then the remaining payments are spread out over the year. So That is the details about the investment. So I'm going to show you guys now how you can take this investment and turn it into lifelong money. But first, before we dive in, I want to see how you guys are feeling about, accomplishing some of these results. So I'd love to know what everyone on this call thinks about actually being able to make $100,000 in their first year of a business. So do you believe it's possible for you if you have the right tools, the right opportunity, and the right mentor? Could you accomplish working part-time from home? So we've got some yeses already. So type a 1 or a yes if you do believe in yourself that you could accomplish this with the right guidance. Or if you feel like I can't possibly imagine how I could ever make that kind of money for my family, type a 2 or a no. All right, awesome. Okay, mostly ones and yeses all I see so far. Great. And this is different for everybody. It's okay. How you feel about this is totally cool. It's totally fine. It's your feelings. So the reason I ask this is because I want to let you guys know that, mindset is key when you start a business. And the first hurdle, the first obstacle that you have to overcome is, believing in yourself. I think I can accomplish this. If I really do have the clear and utter roadmap to being able to accomplish this, I believe that I could follow those steps and do it. So that's the very first hurdle. Then Crystal says, yes, but I'm concerned about the buy-in. Totally understand. Anytime you make an investment into anything, it's nerve-wracking, right? I could say there's probably like, I don't know, 5 or 10% of our students that join the academy um, maybe come in with that feeling of like, not being nervous. Like 95% of our students come in and they're nervous still, right? Because they don't know. No one has a crystal ball into the future on what's going to happen for you, right? So that's why it's like really important to kind of focus on your mindset. Are you going to make this work? Because we do have the exact roadmap, and we've been around for 5 years. We've made over $10 million in this company, helping other people make lots of money as well. So it's not about the fact of, is this going to work? It's really more about the fact is, are you going to let it work for you? So the biggest obstacle that our students have is really their own limiting beliefs. So as we go through this webinar, I want you to practice imagining these results for yourself. Visualize it, see what you think it would feel like to actually like hit these results, because we have the exact path to reaching all of your goals. And we are also fully equipped and set up to help you overcome any obstacles that come your way, especially when it comes to mindset. So we start and end every single week with mindset, and we really help our students, break past anything that might be blocking them from moving forward, taking the next step, taking action, and reaching the goals and the success that they deserve, right? You guys all deserve to have everything that you want. But sometimes you got to go out and get it, right? And we're going to help you learn how to go out and get it for yourself, right? So to keep our mindset also on the right track, we focus very heavily on our goals. It's something that you can really easily measure, right? So during this part of the webinar, I'd like to help you guys determine what your goals are. That way you can write down and look at the exact roadmap of how to reach them and a timeline for how quickly you can do so. That way you've got complete clarity on what to expect as you move forward with starting a bookkeeping business. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is financial goals, because obviously without money, you really can't accomplish anything else. So that basic need has to be met first and exceeded. And then from there, we're going to talk about your time goals. How much do you want to work? What is your preferred schedule? And then we'll touch on location goals. Where do you want to work from? What's important to you when it comes to your location? So drop a thumbs up in the chat if this sounds good. You guys are ready to dive into your goals. A thumbs up or a yes if you can't see emojis or anything like that. All right. Okay, so we're going to start with financial goals into 3 different buckets. I want you guys to picture this as like a ladder, maybe like a small ladder. And there's going to be 3 different rungs on this ladder. And the top rung is going to be your biggest goal. And then the middle one is going to be the second one. And we're going to start here at the bottom rung, goal number 1. And the reason we do this is because number 1, we have to make your goals into a manageable step, right? It's similar to like weight loss. If you want to lose weight, you got to say 5 pounds, right? I'm going to start with 5 pounds, celebrate that, then get to 10, then to 15, then to 20. If you just go right into it saying, I want to lose 50 pounds, it can be hard, right? So we're going to like chunk these down into steps. And then once you reach to the top, your third rung, you're going to expand your ladder. It's an extension ladder. You're going to keep expanding it. And a lot of times our students don't think there's a goal to achieve above that because they can't possibly imagine making, more than their wow goal. But once you hit some of these goals, it will open your mind to expanding that ladder and then being able to reach higher rungs on it. So think about this in terms of your goal ladder, and there's 3 rungs on it right now. So the financial goal 1 is the bottom rung, the very first one. I call this goal a bare minimum goal. This is the basic goal you would want to hit to give yourself confidence that you're on the right path. And a lot of times people are like still very nervous when they start their business until they hit this goal, and they're like, wow, this is going to work. This does work. And then they really take off from there. So I'll give you an example. For me, back in 2015, I was making $3,500 per month after taxes at my CPA job. But I just had my 3rd kid, and I didn't want her to go into a daycare. So we hired a nanny, and even though we really couldn't afford it, we paid this nanny about $1,500 a month. And, that put me in a really tight position that I had to keep thinking, what am I going to do? Because I can't do this for long term. And I'm also not spending any time with her, and I'm barely bringing home any money, right? This was a net pay of $2,000 per month that I was able to contribute to the family finances after paying this nanny. So I knew if I quit my job and I found enough clients where I only brought in $2,000 a month for us, I knew I would be okay for a little while. And that would give me confidence to be like, okay, if I can get up to that point, I don't need to go back to my job. I don't need to go find another job. I can just keep doing this. And then I can just get a couple more clients to get us back up to, 3,500 or whatever. So this was my first goal. It's different for everybody. So it can be, whatever you need to cover your portion of the family's expenses, or maybe it's whatever you would need to drop down to part-time at work or anything. So I'd love for you guys to think about that for a sec and then type what your bare minimum goal would be in the chat. So think about it. What's that ballpark number? It can be anything. So Tunde, your question about the monthly payment. So when you do sign up with the lender, it is a long-term loan document that you are signing. And if you don't make the monthly payments, it's just like any other loan. You are going to be obligated to do that. And if you don't make the payments, you won't be able to continue to access the academy. So yes, I mean, you need to make sure if you guys are very, very tight on money, number 1, you have at least, a way to come up with the first 2, 3, or maybe even 4 monthly payments just as a safeguard, whether that's, credit card money, or your family's going to help you, or, you go DoorDash or something. I don't know, anything that you can do to make sure that you have that. And then the other thing you would need to make sure that you do is make sure that you actually are going to commit to taking action, because if you take action, you're going to be able to cover that monthly payment really quickly. But those 2 things have to go hand in hand. Otherwise, I would say it's not, you're not ready to move forward. Because we want to set you up for success. We don't want you to come in and just immediately fail, right? So we want to make sure that you're completely set up for success. Heather says 2,000, 5,000 for Rosaline, 2,000 per month, 3,500, 2,500. Okay, great. Awesome. All right. So financial goal number 2, this is like taking the next step up the ladder. So for me, it was like, oh my gosh, I made this this first goal. I can't even believe it. I didn't even know if it was really possible or not. But then once I did that, I immediately set another goal. And I call this one the more covered, content, and worry-free goal. So I knew if I got to this next level, then I would be like totally on the right track, didn't have to worry about any of my bills or, penny pinching or anything like that. And I knew that we would be, fully okay without me having to go get another job. And for me at that time in 2015, we lived in the Midwest. It was about $5,000 to $6,000 per month is really what I needed to be able to cover all of our basic expenses. And we started to be able to reach some of our lifestyle goals, which allowed me to have my husband quit his job. So since I was able to cover all of our bills with this amount, even though we didn't want to drop down to one income again, it was doable because I knew I could get to the next level. So I went ahead and had my husband quit his job, which gave me more time, all of us more time together. It gave me more focused time to be able to work on the clients that I did have and to bring in more clients. And then it gave us more quality time together. So by getting to goal number 2, I was able to start reaching some of those other lifestyle goals that I wanted in addition to just financial goals, right? So what would the next rung on the ladder be for you guys? Type financial goal number 2 in the chat now. And while you guys are doing that, we'll start talking about the wow goal. The wow goal for now is the top rung of the ladder. It's like the goal that you see as being like your big goal that you have currently. This is going to change as you grow a business because your mind is going to be blown about what the possibilities are for you. And you can see some of that if you guys watch some of my podcast interviews with some of our students. They have been completely blown away by what they've been able to accomplish with their business. So, but for now, what is the wow goal for you? So this is where I was able to start working towards some of my bucket list items. So for example, I used to watch my boss take vacations all the time, extended ones, and he would drive down to Sedona and then he would drive up to Estes Park, Colorado. And then sometimes he would take multiple week-long trips over to Italy and go through Europe and stuff. And I was always so jealous of that because I love to travel. And I always said, one day that's going to be me. But how can that be you when you're stuck with a fixed income and you struggle to be able to afford to pay for something like that? It may take you years to save up for it. But then on top of it, having vacation time from both everybody in the family to be able to do that. I didn't know how that was really ever going to happen. So I dreamed about that. When I had my bookkeeping business and I started to realize the flexibility there, I knew if I could get up to making maybe like around $10,000 a month, I knew I wouldn't have to do any budgeting anymore. I would be able to take those family vacations that I really wanted to take that were more than just a 3 or 4 day weekend at the lake, And then I'd never had a brand new car. I wanted a brand new car. At one point, we wanted to upgrade our house because we wish we had a pool in the house that we had. The zoning wouldn't allow us to have a pool in the backyard. So all of those things, I knew if I could accomplish those things if I could get up to $10,000 per month. So what would be your wow goal? Type that in the chat if you haven't already. What would be your wow goal for starting your bookkeeping business that would help you, achieve some of those things that you've really been wanting to do that you and your, family talk about doing, but just not really sure how it's ever going to happen. Crystal says, how do you bring in your first client? I'm going to show you an entire section on marketing, how we do marketing and the most effective ways to get bookkeeping clients. So I'm going to show you all about that. All right, awesome. Okay, 4,000, 15,000, 5,000, 10,000. Love it. Okay, these are great, guys. So remember these, write them down. Heather's shooting big, 10,000 would be her wow goal. Love it. I love it. Wants to be in Florida in 2 years with an increasing continuous income. Love that. Where do you want to go to Florida? I've been eyeing that myself. The winter is no fun here, Jane. It's no fun. I'm sick of it. Okay, so time goals. These the financial goals that you guys wrote down, keep those notated because on a upcoming slide I'm going to show you the timeline of being able to hit some of those goals. But I want to pivot for a second and talk about time, because one of the reasons why I started my bookkeeping business is so I could have more time back with my daughter. And this business is really awesome if you're in that situation right now, because you can buy your time back with your bookkeeping business. And then later, when you don't need as much time, maybe your kids are getting bigger, they're grown, or they're in school or whatever, then you can ramp this up, which is really awesome. So I want to get clear about first, what is your current career time investment? And when you guys are thinking about that, I want you to include all the hours that you work that you're away from home or away from your family. So if you commute, if you have to have an hour lunch break, add all of those things in. For me, I didn't have those things. I had a 5-minute commute. I could work through my lunch. It was pretty flexible. So I was only gone about 40-ish hours per week on average. But my husband, on the other hand, he was commuting to downtown Kansas City. He was fighting traffic. Oftentimes he got stuck having to work late. And of course, when the weather's bad, you got to drive really slow. He was gone on average about 60 hours per week away from the family, which, as you guys know, when you have a newborn and they go to bed at like 7 or 8 o'clock, it's really difficult for you to be able to spend time with them, right? So my husband was miserable. I was miserable working for pennies. And this just made a whole lot of sense for us to, consider something else, right? So I'd love for you guys to type in the chat, how many hours are you currently investing into your career? And if you are unemployed or if you're a stay-at-home parent, how many hours would you have to invest into your career if you wanted to bring in a decent salary? So type that in the chat. Crystal's working 55 plus, 40 for Jane, 47 for April, 40 plus for Eileen. All right. Yep. So that's a lot. Okay. So now in a perfect scenario, what would your preferred time investment be? Type that in the chat. Let's say you're not winning the lottery here. You're building a business, so obviously you're going to have to work a little bit, right? But let's say you can meet your wow goal, but be able to kind of work whatever you want. So what would that be for you? And it's different for everybody depending on so many factors and where you're at in your life right now. So there's no right or wrong answer, but I'm curious, what would be your ideal? So Jane says 10 to 20, April says 20. Most of our students say around 15 to 20 hours is what they would prefer to work, to be able to give themselves time to spend with family, work on themselves, have a hobby, things like that. All right. And 2 to 3 days a week, Crystal, like that. That's awesome. And then keep in mind, with a bookkeeping business, flexibility is really the key benefit here. So when you decide to work, 10, 15, 20 hours a week, whatever that is, you also get to choose the time of day and the day of the week that you want to work. And you can change it from week to week as well. Super flexible. But these numbers are important, so you can see the roadmap here on an upcoming slide. So, type those in the chat, write them down. 10 hours a week, a bunch of teenagers at home. Yes, that's how I'll show you a student named Jen who is having tons of success right now. She's got 4 boys. I think they range from like 17 to 21 or something. And she's actually been able to employ 2 of them. Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about location goals. So a lot of times people want to start these jobs because they want, or start this business because they want to work from home. So I'm curious if that's you. Do you want to work from home? Maybe you want to work from an RV and travel around, or maybe just be able to have the flexibility that, once a month you can go visit family that's across the country without having to worry about the stress of like getting back for your job and everything. And then, do you have any travel plans? Do you want to take more vacations and trips? Type in the chat, where are you guys looking to work from? What is that for you? From home and anywhere. And then in addition to that, this is always fun. Are there any other goals? A lot of our students like to pay off debt. They have been able to buy their dream home or upgrade their house, or maybe even buy their first home or start investing. So I'm going to give you an example here of one of our students, Jara, and she was in our academy, one of our original students actually, and she paid off a massive amount of debt. So I want to read this to you guys just so you can see what's possible and see if any of Jara's stories relates to you guys. Is your situation similar to her? So here's what Jara says. She says, "Hello, everybody. I wanted to share an exciting win of mine, and I hope it lifts and encourages you to know that you can do it. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool my 4 kids. My husband graduated chiropractic school with around $175,000 of debt, which was massive, guys. And we were just squeezing by to pay all expenses on top of the ever-crushing school loan. I had worked full-time up until I had my kids, and though I enjoy being a mother, I always wanted to get back into the work field, even just for a day or two. I tried looking for part-time jobs, but at $9 an hour or less, I didn't get a higher education, so making more was out of the question without going back to school. I researched and followed several groups, school programs, and even tried to get into marketing, which ironically she says I was awful at. And someone had mentioned Tiffany's group, and though I didn't have bookkeeping experience, I really enjoyed finances and problem solving. Of course, with things being tight, I worried that we would spend the money and I wouldn't see a return. I contemplated for a couple days, and my husband encouraged me to just go for it. One of the best decisions we have made. I joined summer 2019 and I opened in October of 2019. It took me 3 months to land my first client. It has had its ups and downs, but I'm so glad I decided to take that chance. Fast forward to now, I have 25 monthly clients as well as contract work for a CPA. I have 3 part-time employees and I put in roughly 20 to 40 hours per week. I do this all from home. She says, I still homeschool my kids, take vacation days, and schedule things on my time. I put in a lot of evening hours so I can choose to spend the day with my kids. Are you ready for the big news? She said, we paid off our loans, that whole huge loan. She said a 30-year loan in less than 5 years, and the majority was paid in 2020 and 2021. We are now saving up a down payment to build our dream home, which I will certainly share pics once it comes together. I make more per hour than my husband, which is incredible, guys, and took 8 years of school. He took 8 years of school, and I took Tiffany's program for a small fee. I'm also not capped at what I can earn. I'm not limited to how many hours I can work. I can contract out, hire more employees, and continue to grow as big as I want. The sky's the limit. I'm just so happy I stumbled upon this group. Thank you to Tiffany for making it possible for this mom to dream big, she says. So pretty incredible to be able to grow your business up in just a few short years, to be able to pay off a huge debt like that. But my favorite part of this whole thing is that she actually has more flexibility and makes more money than her husband, who went to chiropractic school, right? So absolutely incredible. Her bookkeeping business is what paid off his student loans, more so probably than his job, right? Kind of crazy. To celebrate my 1 year anniversary from my bookkeeping business, in 2016, we bought this brand new van. Completely paid it off within about 6 months. It was about $45,000. And we were approved for this car living only off of my bookkeeping business income. We didn't have any other money coming into our family outside of that, as we were both retired from corporate America. So just to kind of show you guys, how legit this bookkeeping business is. We still drive this car today, as a fun fact. But also to celebrate a 1 year, we took that van and we took our kids on a 16-day family vacation across the country. We stopped in Estes Park, Colorado, Mission Beach, the Grand Canyon, and then, coming back home to Missouri. So it was really awesome because this is what I had always wanted to do. Not take a 3 or 4 day vacation, take a 16-day trip. Why not? If you have the flexibility to be able to do this business from anywhere, why not test that out, see how it works? So on this trip, I brought my laptop with me just to keep up on, like, time sensitive things, or make sure my clients were taken care of. But the majority of the work, I waited until I got back, because a bookkeeping business, typical deadlines are monthly. So it's something that you can really have flexibility throughout the entire month of doing the work. So I was very present on this trip. I hardly had to work at all. And when I got back, I just got caught up on the bookkeeping before it was time to actually give my clients the finished product, which was really, really awesome. And then in 2018, like I mentioned, we decided to move after we had our twins. We needed a bigger house. We wanted a pool. We ended up getting approved to buy this house. It was a $412,000 house, and we got approved simply from our bookkeeping business income only. And this was only about 3 years after we started our bookkeeping business, which is really awesome. So if you haven't already, type in the chat, what are some big ticket items that you're looking forward to accomplishing? Like some of these examples that I put on here, what are you wanting to accomplish with your business if you hit your wow goal and beyond? So type that in the chat. Jane wants to be financially independent and ability to retire in 3 years. Love that. You can definitely accomplish that. Avianca says, wants to work from home because you have a newborn. Congratulations. April wants to work from anywhere. I love that. Um, all right. Pay off debt, buy a house, a baby grand piano. Yes. House remodel, paying for kids' college, travel with family, pay off debt, work from anywhere. I love it. Okay, so now you guys have clarity on all the different types of goals that you guys want to achieve with this. I want to actually dive into the roadmap now on how you can reach these goals with your bookkeeping business. So you can walk away from this call with complete clarity on what this process looks like and the timeline on how quickly you can reach these various goals we just talked about. So this webinar obviously is still going to be recorded, but keep asking those questions and stick around to the end, and we can go over anything else that you guys feel like maybe I missed or didn't cover. So the first thing that is important to know is how long is it going to take me to reach my goals with consistent, recurring, dependable monthly income? So in a bookkeeping business, there's several ways you can earn money: cleanup jobs, commission income, payroll, stuff like that. Those aren't necessarily consistent, and they also vary from client to client and student to student. So this chart is a more realistic picture, conservative picture of the time frame that you can expect to make with your monthly bookkeeping fees, the normal monthly fees. And you can count on these every month into the future, even if you don't add another single client to your business once you reach your goal. So you can depend on this. You know this money is going to be coming in. Now, of course, you could lose a client. That happens, but not very often. Clients typically stay with you for years. But once you hit these levels, you can pretty well count on this money. So what we see from our students, our average students, is that on average, they're making about $1,000 of monthly income. They add to their monthly fees every single month they're in business. So usually around like the 2 to 3 month mark, you're going to be making around $2,000 to $3,000 per month in your business. So if you got started today, I would say there is a pretty high chance that by, let's see, 2 months would be the beginning of March. That would be like right around my birthday. In 2 months, you could be at easily $2,000 a month, especially right now because it's tax season. And that's when business owners are really looking to get their bookkeeping caught up. So, and then of course, like to reach your maybe $5,000 is your next goal. It would take you about 5 months. So that would be 5 months would be like around June, right? So as you roll into summer, you're going to be at that potential second goal if that's your goal. Like I mentioned, during tax season, it's possible that you could blow past this goal because there are more people looking for bookkeeping services during this time. But also this chart, just so you guys know, it shows like an average student, the results for an average student. Our average student is somebody that works full time, has little kids at home, and is only really able to spend about, I'd say, 60 minutes a day on their bookkeeping business. So if you can spend about at least 30 minutes a day on marketing, ideally about 60 minutes, then it's possible for you to get up to these levels and hit these milestones at this time frame. Obviously, this is just an average chart for you guys to work off of. It's different for everybody. So if you come into the program and there's other things that you need to work on first, maybe your mindset, maybe you want to go through more of the coursework before you dive into marketing, obviously it'll take you a little longer to reach these. If you come right into our program and you do take all the action steps when it comes to the marketing, it'll be easier for you to hit these milestones. This is a good chart too to kind of compare your progress against. There's no right or wrong answer, but if you're working the program and you're not hitting these, this is a good opportunity for you to come to the call and say, what could I do more efficiently? What could I do differently to be able to actually make sure I'm hitting these milestones? Because this is very doable. So it's great to be able to have a roadmap or a guideline. So if maybe you're not hitting it, we can help you with that. What else? Oh, also, so as you guys can see, if you invest $640 a month, even if you don't have that as like a really easy monthly payment to make, right? Let's say it even takes you longer than normal. Let's say it takes you twice as long as this chart. So within 4 months, you're going to be making $2,000 a month. If you have enough to cover those first few payments, then all of a sudden, then you're making $2,000 a month. Obviously, that's almost triple of what the payment is, right? So you can cover the payment into the academy very quickly. And then everything else from there is pure profit that you get to bring into your family for use on your personal finances. Heather asked a great question, and this is usually kind of how I wrap up the presentation, but I'd love to answer this now. Heather says, how long does it take to get through the course to feel confident to take on your first client for someone who is not already a bookkeeper? So this is where the mindset really comes in, because this is very different from person to person. When you start your business and you start marketing, we're going to ask you to start marketing before you know everything. As a matter of fact, you can be a bookkeeper for 5 years and still not know everything. There's a lot of things I still don't know that I look up, and I rely on my team and we talk through it because bookkeeping is ever changing. There's lots of new things. There's new programs that come out all the time that clients use. Tax law changes all the time. So you're never going to know everything. But what happens is the first few weeks that you're in the academy, we're going to have you go through some basic coursework that's going to teach you the basics of bookkeeping, and to walk you through a full year of doing bookkeeping for a company. So you know what the day-to-day looks like, you know what the month-to-month looks like. And that way you'll at least have the ability to talk intelligently to a potential client about what you're going to be doing. And most of the time, the potential clients don't ask you, difficult or confusing questions when you're in that first discovery phase. But anytime a client ever asks you something and you're like, I have not learned this yet, I have no idea what he's talking about, all you have to do is say, you know what, that is a great question. Let me look into something. I'm part of this really awesome network where anytime I'm not sure about something, I can go ask them and figure it out for you. So give me 24 hours, I'll go find an answer for you and I'll come back. And usually what happens is you can come into our group and ask us, we'll teach you that specific thing. And then you'll be able to go back to your client sometimes even within a couple hours. So even if you don't know anything, you can still look like a rock star and be able to do an excellent job for your client. And slowly over time, as you're exposed to different things, you're going to start to become an expert with this. And then clients will ask you questions and you're going to be like, I know that. I know the answer to that. So in the meantime, though, we want you to still make money. We don't want you to try to figure out how to learn everything you can learn before you get out there, because it's going to take you too long. It's going to be, just like going to college. And then, you guys need to have changes in your life now. You need that time now and the money now, right? So we're going to help you with that. Some people are more okay with that than others, right? So if that has you sweating up a storm right now, just thinking about that, you're going to want to attend our mindset calls every single time until you can feel a little bit more confident knowing that you don't have to know all the answers to still do a really great job for your clients. So let me know if that helped, Heather, or anybody else that was, curious about that too. But as you look at this chart, you can kind of roadmap it out to like how long it's going to take you to reach your own personal goals. So can you guys type in the chat, how many months is it going to take you to hit goal number 1? My goal number 1 was 2,000. So I know about 2 months is what it would take me to get there. So what would that be for you? Type that in the chat. I'm curious how long it's going to take you. And then while you guys are doing that, Heather says 2 months. Awesome. So it's really, really close, guys, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that is a very quick turnaround time to be able to like start changing your life, right? I mean, it is 2024 already, and last year flew by in the blink of an eye, right? So, can you imagine if things can already be different in just a 1 to 2 month time span? I mean, it's really awesome, right? So, what I like to go over next is how many clients do we need? Because obviously, in order to make this kind of money, you're going to need clients, right? And everyone's always wondering, how many people do I actually need to talk to? How many people do I need to sign up to actually reach this goal? So here is a chart showing approximate number of clients that you need at each one of these monthly income milestones. So for my first goal of $2,000 per month, I knew I only needed 4 super small clients to hit this goal. Now, the reason I knew that jumping into my bookkeeping business is because I worked at a CPA firm and I did all the bookkeeping. So I could see doing the bookkeeping exactly what my boss was charging them, but I also so I knew how much money it these clients would pay for bookkeeping, right? Like I knew that. And so I knew if I could just find 4 of them, I could make $2,000 per month and be able to do this from home, which is really awesome. Now, again, this is assuming every client you get is really small. So this is a range. A lot of our students get larger clients. And if you get a larger client, they make more money, they have more transactions, so you would charge more. And then that would mean you would just need less clients. For example, Kim got a new client last December that paid her $21.97 per month. So instead of 4 clients, she only needed 1 at that first milestone, right? When I had my bookkeeping business and I was making about $20,000 per month, I only had 33 clients instead of the 40 that is listed here. So just to give you guys an idea of what the typical range is. So I want you guys to look at this chart and tell me, how many clients do you need to hit your very first goal, your bare minimum goal? What does that look like for you guys? Heather says 4, Jane says 6. Awesome. Keep it coming. I'm going to show you guys here on the next slide what the potential client pool is. Like, how doable is it to get those types of clients? Average income from one client for a full month of bookkeeping is 500. Nice job, Rosaline. She did the math on that. Yes. And you don't have to be good at math or numbers to be good at bookkeeping. You just have to be able to be organized and have attention to detail. But Rosaline, yes, you are correct. It's about on average $500 per month. The lowest we ever recommend charging a client is $300 a month. For bookkeeping services, but most clients fall into a slightly bigger category. So $300 to $800 a month is really the main average. So we average that into the middle, which is about $500 a month. Now, I have a lot of students that get clients that pay much bigger fees, but on average, this is what we see. Great. Yep. So you guys are saying in the chat, anywhere from like 4 to 6 clients is what you're going to need. Well, check out how many potential clients there are in the US. So, all right, Tunde. Um, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. The chart here shows you how many potential clients there are out there. This picture shows there were 33.2 million businesses in existence just in 2022. Million. Okay, million. You guys need like 4 to 6 clients just to hit your first goal, and there's millions available. And as you can see on this chart, every year over the previous 6 years, it grew, it got bigger, right? In fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses starting every month. And bookkeepers and CPAs are retiring in droves with no one to replace them because there's been a huge decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees because of the low pay and the long hours during tax season. So clients are literally everywhere. There will never be a shortage of potential clients for you, tons of fish in the sea, and never enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. But it also helps that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone to purchase, like leggings or Mary Kay or something like that, right? All these business owners, they understand that they need bookkeeping, they need it to be done. They already are convinced of the value. So finding clients, but also getting them to say, yeah, let's sign up for services. Both of those things are relatively easy, even if you've never done marketing or sales before. So I'm going to walk you through that on an upcoming slide as well. But I want you guys to say, yes in the chat if you feel like getting the amount of clients you need to reach your first goal is doable based on the sheer number and volume of potential clients out there. Assuming you know how to do marketing, because I'm going to show you, do you feel like it is somewhat doable, right? Crystal says, should you have a contract per client? We do recommend that you get an engagement letter signed. And of course, in our academy, we have everything that you need. So all the engagement letters, the templates, proposal templates, everything like that, it's all included in the academy. And you just, customize it with your name and business information on it, which is great. All right. Okay, the next slide is my favorite slide of the presentation. This one is the expected time commitment that it takes to complete the bookkeeping work for these clients at various monthly income levels. So for my first goal of $2,000, I knew I would only have to work 4 hours per week to do all of the bookkeeping work for all of those clients that totaled $2,000 per month. I knew this to be true because, again, I worked in a CPA firm. I did the bookkeeping. I saw how much my boss charged because I saw that charge coming through on my clients' books, right? But I also knew how long it took me to do their bookkeeping every week. So not only did I know I would only need 4 clients to reach $2,000 per month, I knew I would only have to work 4 hours to complete it. So for me, when I was really feeling like I want to be home, spend more time with my daughter, this was a no-brainer for me. And I knew if I could just go find a few clients of my own, that I could just drop my hours down to working 4 hours per week instead of 40 and doing bookkeeping for all of his clients. I could just have 4 and then work 4 hours a week. So for me, I knew I was going to save 36 hours per week by doing a bookkeeping business from home instead of working at my job. So I want you guys to do a little math. Like I mentioned, you don't have to be good at math to be good at bookkeeping. It's all about organization and data entry and attention to detail. Any math that you need to do, you could use a calculator for. It's no big deal. But I want you guys to do a little bit of math here. Look at this chart and see, what are you currently making at your job right now? And if you pivoted to a bookkeeping business, what would that time commitment be? And subtract that from the time commitment that you guys told me about earlier. And then type in the chat, how much time would you save if you pivoted to a bookkeeping business instead of working your job right now? So do that calculation really quick and then type that in the chat. How much time would you save? April's going to save the same amount as me, 36 hours per week. Love that. That's huge. Anybody else doing the math? Are you guys all with me? I love we have so many people on here, but I'm always curious. Is everyone multitasking? Are you guys hearing this? Just don't want to chat. 32 hours for Jolene, 38 for Eileen, 32 for Jane, 51 hours saved for Crystal. Okay, that's incredible. So you guys, all imagine that for a minute. If you had all of that time back, what would you do with it? Right? Would you spend it with your family? Would you pick up a hobby, enjoy life more? But maybe you would reinvest some of it back into your business, right? So you can do any of those things. If you're happy at that level, that monthly income level, and you just want that time back, take that time back. But if you want to get to the next level or make more money, you can reinvest some of that time into your business to get to level 2 and level 3, right? So, and you can change it up. One month you could be like, I'm going to kick back and hang out with my family. And then the next month you can be like, I'm going to hit it hard so I can make some more money so we can go on vacation this summer. So, really cool to have the flexibility to do that. But if you guys look at this chart, a lot of you guys said your wow goal was around $10,000 a month like mine. If you look at this, once you get up to that level, to actually complete the bookkeeping work, you only have to work 20 hours per week to complete the bookkeeping work and not have to do anything else, which is really awesome. So um, anybody want to calculate up the hourly rate there? It's about $100 an hour is what you're going to be making with bookkeeping. And this is our baseline. Okay, so I'll show you guys how this is possible here in a few slides. But when you're in the academy and you're working on this, this is what we measure success against. So as you get a client, if you aren't hitting these numbers, there's two problems. And I'm going to show you guys those on this upcoming slide. But this is what we help you with. We help you can continue to tweak it until you have reached this exact result. Which is really cool. And like I mentioned, you can do these hours at any time of the day, of the week that you want. So like when my twins were born, I worked at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when they were up nursing. So that's when I did the majority of my bookkeeping work. And then I, took a nap and slept until noon. So it's totally flexible. It's up to you how you want to structure your schedule, and you can change it from week to week, which is another thing that's really, really awesome. So, at this point in time, a lot of people are, thinking, this sounds amazing, but it sounds too good to be true. How in the heck does this high money, low time business work? So is anybody feeling that right now? Do you guys want to dive in and like understand the science behind how and why this works? Type a yes in the chat if you're interested. If you're, maybe if you feel this way, I'd love to know. And if you're just ready to roll and see what's next, then like Jane says, let's do it. All right, awesome. Okay, so like I mentioned on that chart, there are a couple of things that make it possible to achieve these results and like be able to make $100 an hour or more in your bookkeeping business. And the first key pillar that makes it possible is proper quoting. So this is the most important step in, getting your clients onboarded and starting to achieve these results and making the money that you need for your family. So understanding how to charge, making sure you're not undercharging or undervaluing bookkeeping services, it's an important skill to develop. And there's a lot of factors that go into quoting. And when you're a brand new business owner, it's really hard to know how to quote. So, trying to do it by yourself can be challenging, and you could potentially underquote and then potentially create a new job for yourself where you're making $20 an hour instead of 100, right? So, for example, we had a student named Sylvia in our program, and she had like 4 or 5 clients already that, we had helped her get and helped her do the work for. And then she got this new client, but this new client was in a construction industry. She hadn't worked in that industry yet. And they wanted some extra services. So she came to the call and she said, I'm thinking based on previous experience so far to quote $500 per month for this client. But here's all the things that they're wanting me to do. Our team, having had experience quoting and working with construction clients, we suggested that she actually consider quoting him $1,000 a month instead of $500, just because of the extra stuff that he was wanting. So she went back to her client and he ended up agreeing, and she got to make $1,000 a month for this client. So if you take a look at that, I'll pull up this calculator. If you take a look at that, she got an extra $500 per month with this client above and beyond what she would have charged if she was on her own, right? So if you calculate that out over a year, that's an extra $6,000 per year. Let's say she keeps this client for at least 5 years. That's $30,000 more that she's going to make with this client, just by that one interaction with our team, helping her with quoting. And then she knows from there, she can utilize that as like, okay, now I really understand why I need to quote this much. Because if you think about it, it's going to be the same amount of work no matter what she charges, because we are having the business owners pay you guys a monthly fee. They don't know how long it takes. They don't know what you're going to be doing. They just pay you the same monthly fee every month. So we need to make sure that monthly fee is right. So that way, when you do all of the work and you calculate up how many hours it took you to do the work and divide that out against the monthly fee, that you're making, as close to or more than $100 per hour. Now, if she would have only charged the $500 a month, she would have made a lot less, right? Maybe 40 or 50 bucks an hour instead, because she would have had to do the same work. So this is why quoting is really, really important. We teach you how to do that. And in the academy, we also have a proprietary quoting tool that you get access to, where you get to ask your clients like 3 or 4 different questions, and then you input the answers into the quoting tool, and it tells you exactly what to charge. And then when you have clients like this that want, a few other additional things, we also work with you hand in hand to help you, fine tune the quote and make sure that the quoting tool is appropriate in that certain instance. We do quote again in fixed price packages. So it's very easy for your client to budget because it's based on how big they are, what's their annual revenue. So we know that these monthly fees are something that they can easily afford, and they're fair, and it's easy to get the work done in that time frame. We also determine the monthly fee based on their industry that they're in and how organized they are. So there's a few different things that we help to determine. Once you quote 5 to 10, maybe 15 times, you'll really start to have it down, and it'll be something that you'll feel more confident with over time. But it takes a little bit of time to really understand how to do that. But the other thing that goes hand in hand with this is knowing how to do the work efficiently. Because like I mentioned with Sylvia, she's going to have the same amount of work to do, no matter if she charged $500 a month or $1,000 a month. It was the same amount of work that she was agreeing to. So we need to make sure we understand the work that's going to be going into it. And that way we can make sure we're quoting properly, but also doing the work in an efficient way so that you can ensure that you're getting $100 or more per hour on the clients that you're working with. So we help you do this. We help you get really efficient with what's the step-by-step process to catch up your clients' books. What's the step-by-step process to actually do their bookkeeping every single month. And then from there, when your clients are requesting like more things or different things, maybe something that you didn't really agree to in the original engagement, right? We show you how to set boundaries so that way you can go back to your client and say, I would love to do that for you, but we need to readjust our quote to include that because it wasn't considered in our normal monthly fee. And so that way it protects you and makes sure you always are getting at least $100 an hour or more in your business. So those two things go hand in hand. That is how you're able to make $100 an hour. And really, it's because the service is worth it. Because it's also easy for you to leverage QuickBooks Online, leverage some AI, and then be able to really streamline your workflow. So those two things go hand in hand, but also we're wanting to help you build this business with the end in mind. So we've thought of things that you're going to wish you would have known, say like 2, 3, 5 years down the road. And we're going to have you go ahead and build your business from day one with these things in mind. So that way later, if you want to take advantage of these other things, you already have the proper quoting in place, the proper workflow in place to be able to pivot into these other things that are going to still allow you to have financial freedom and the work-life balance that you guys want for your family. So one of those things is being profitable for future employees. So you may not even be thinking that you want to have employees in your business right now, but it really actually happens pretty quickly for most of our students because it's really easy to grow a bookkeeping business. They are in high demand, but business owners need bookkeepers. So to get maxed out on your number of clients really quickly and exceed the amount of hours that you want to work in a week, you're going to hit that pretty quickly. And so it's really great to be able to have things set up so that way, if you get more clients coming your way and you want to keep growing and you want to keep making more money, but you don't want to keep spending more time, you can leverage employees in the same way that your boss is leveraging you right now. So you're going to be able to kind of flip that and be able to be on the other end of it, right? And so we want you to make sure that when you hire employees, that you're going to have the profit there to be able to not only pay them, but to still have plenty of money left over for you to take to your family. So let's take a look at this chart again that we were just looking at. And if you look at the bottom, 40 hours, let's say you want to work full time in your business, 40 hours a week. You could handle doing the client load that totaled $20,000 per month worth of clients. But let's say you decide, I want to hire somebody to work that 40 hours instead of me. So if you decide to do that, you hire a full-time bookkeeper or maybe a staff accountant, and you're going to be able to pay them a salary. On the last call that I had, there was a girl on there who was a full-time bookkeeper, and she was making like less than $3,000 a month, which is crazy. Most of the time when we have people join our program that were bookkeepers, they're making anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500 per month on the high end. But let's say, just because I don't like to do mental math, that you guys want to be really awesome business owners and you're going to pay your bookkeeper $5,000 per month. And they're going to work 40 hours a week and they're going to do all of the work for your clients that you have. And you're bringing in $20,000 per month right now. That means you're going to be able to pay the employee. The employee is going to be able to work a full 40 hours a week for you. And you are going to be able to profit $15,000 per month for every full-time employee you have on your team. So even as you hire team members, and you're still going to have a very healthy profit margin and a nice monthly income for your family and still be able to maintain the schedule and work-life balance you desire. So if you think about it, even one full-time employee would put most of you guys at hitting your WOW goal as part of your profit, and somebody else is actually going to be doing all of the work. You would just be reviewing it, making sure your clients are happy and getting everything that they need, making sure your employee is doing a good job, and you could work very minimal and still make $15,000 a month in profit. Pretty incredible, right? So this is how we kind of scale up to having like $1 million bookkeeping business. Does anybody want to see the math on that? What it looks like for income, payroll expense, and then profit after payroll with a $1 million business? All right, great. Let me pull out my handy dandy calculator again. So if you have a $1 million bookkeeping business and you're going to divide that out by months, that's about $83,000 per month in bookkeeping clientele that you're going to need, right? And just to be honest with you guys, it's probably going to take you like 4 or 5 years to get up to that point, just depending on your situation, but doable. So $83,000 per month. Let's say you have that many clients. Well, we know that every full-time bookkeeper can handle client load of $20,000 per month. So that means you're going to need at least 4 full-time bookkeepers and probably a part-time one. So 4.2 bookkeepers. So let's say on average for all of these hours that you're going to be paying 4 full-time people and a part-time person, you're going to pay them $5,000 per month, like we talked about. That puts the total payroll at $20,833 per month. So let's multiply that over 12 months so you can see the total payroll costs for the whole year. That's $250,000. But remember, you're making $1 million in your bookkeeping business. So that means you're going to have a profit of $750,000 after paying for your employees, which is pretty cool. And that's even you paying like several $1,000s a month more than the average going rate for a bookkeeper right now. Crazy, right? Pretty incredible. You guys can not only reach your financial goals, but you can then in turn be an amazing boss and provide this for other people to have more money and be able to work from home too. Correct. You're going to have taxes, Jane. Absolutely. So, and that's different for everybody. So with taxes, when you're a bookkeeper, bookkeeping business owner, these businesses are so profitable that you will end up wanting to file as an S corp. When you file as an S corp, it's a really cool tax strategy to help you save taxes. But what that means is it flows through to your personal return. So Everybody's personal return is different. When I had my bookkeeping business, I paid almost nothing in taxes because I had 5 kids. So we had a lot of deductions, right? And so it's different for everybody and what your situation is and what your spouse is doing and, those kinds of things. So taxes is something that you would want to consider. We do recommend that at least at a minimum after your first year in business, you're probably going to want to consider saving about 10 to 20% of your profit back just for taxes, just in case. So yes, great point. Insurance is very minimal. When I had my bookkeeping business, I had 2 different insurance policies. One was for general liability, and that was attached to my homeowner's policy. So it was like $300 for the year. And then we do recommend that once everybody gets their first client, that they get errors and omissions insurance, which is anywhere from like $20 to $40 per month. So it's really not too bad. And it's based on your income. So of course, once you get up to where you're making $1 million, it'll probably be closer to like $80 to $100 a month, but still relatively small in the grand scheme of things. And there's not a whole lot of other overhead. You'll have payroll taxes on your client or your employees, and what else? You'll probably have a workman's comp, things like that. But all in all, very minimal. So at the most, you would be making at least a 50% profit in your bookkeeping business, even factoring all that in. I'm being very generous because the expenses don't really total up to be that much. If you grew up to this point and you had a really good handle on these stats and you held your team accountable to these stats, I would be really shocked if you had less than a 50% profit. I think it should be more around a 60 to 70% profit, even factoring in all of your typical expenses. All right. So the other thing, though, in addition to being able to hire employees and still have a ton of profit and still be able to maintain the work-life balance you desire, the other cool thing about this business that we're going to help you set everything up from day one is that in case anytime in the future you might want to sell your business. So I know I talked at the beginning of this about retirements and investments. And growing this business alone can be a retirement plan for you and an investment in and of itself. Because when you decide or when you set them up this way, if at any time in the future you decide you want to sell it, they are really sellable and they're worth a lot. So it's based off of one or a multiple of your revenue. So if your business is small, it's 1 times revenue. As your business gets bigger, the multiple goes up. So for example, if your business is small, like you're making $200,000 per year, then you could potentially sell your business for $200,000. But let's say you grew your business to that $1 million mark. The multiple goes up. I had a friend that had a $1 million accounting firm and she got offered $2.2 million for her business. I have some students right now that are growing their business specifically to grow it as big as they can over the next 5 years so they can sell it and then travel around and retire. So these businesses are really attractive to potential buyers or investors because of a few key factors. Number one, consistent, dependable, reoccurring income, which is really awesome. All that, the monthly bookkeeping fees, when they take over your business, they know that money's still going to be coming in. They don't have to jump in and start marketing right away. So they love it. That attracts them to these businesses. Also, number two, the high profit margin, even after building a team, which is what we just talked about. You're going to make 50, 60, 70% profit in your bookkeeping business, even after you pull yourself completely out of it. That's probably what your bosses are making, or maybe they're not, depends on the industry that you're in. But your bosses are making a profit after paying you, right? But now you're going to. This is going to be your business. And then the third reason why investors like to buy these is because we can slowly phase you out as the owner, and the whole business is still going to run itself. so the new owner can come right in and not have to worry about the whole business crashing down. So those are the three main reasons why investors love to buy bookkeeping businesses. And I get emails from people all the time saying, hey, I'm in a accounting consolidation firm and I buy bookkeeping businesses. And, so it's just like really, really popular for people to go out and do that. So you could build your businesses up to whatever figure you want, sell them and do something else, or sell them and retire, or whatever you want to do. But the point of this is we're going to help you put all these things in place right from the beginning so that you have the opportunity to do these things down the line. So in the beginning, when you're not interested in hiring employees or you're not interested in selling your business, you get the best of both worlds. You get your employee pay, but you also get your boss's owner pay. You get both. That's why you guys can make so much money and not have to work very much, because you're getting the double whammy. You're getting the best of both worlds. So does that make a little bit more sense to everybody? Do you guys understand how this works? And does it make sense? So type a yes if it does. And if you have any questions or if anything's like stumping you, I'd love for you guys to type that in the chat too, so I can address it. All right, got a couple yeses. Great. And I'll keep going on, but if you guys think of questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. All right, so now one thing that I haven't even talked about yet is backwork and cleanup opportunities. So 9 times out of 10, when you get a new client, they have not done their bookkeeping for months or even years in the past. And that's why they're looking for bookkeeping services. So this is another income opportunity that you have. It's always a little harder to predict, so I didn't include it on those other slides. But I wanted to show you some examples of what's possible, what some of our current students have been able to accomplish with their new client cleanup jobs. So you guys have an idea of, what this looks like. Back work is when you get a new client and they haven't done any of their bookkeeping for the year or for years in the past. Cleanup work is when you get a client and they've either tried to do their bookkeeping and messed it up, or they had a previous bookkeeper get in there and mess it up, and then we got to come in and clean it and fix it and get it ready for them. So obviously we help you guys learn how to do this, right? We don't expect anybody to know how to do any of this yet. So here's some examples of students that have gotten cleanup jobs. So Kim, she got a $9,000 cleanup job. She joined our academy in October of 2022, and she landed this client about 6 weeks after starting our Bookkeeper Academy. This was a larger client. It was like a $5 million plumbing company. So we helped her put together a quote for monthly services. It was $21.97 per month. So again, she hit that first milestone with one client within about a 6-week time span. And then when we started helping her with doing the books, we realized that the previous bookkeeper didn't do the books right. And so we helped her put together a list of findings. So she was able to go back to her client and say, look, I need to go back and fix everything that this person did for all of last year. And it's going to cost about $9,000. So she was scared to talk to her client about this, but she did it anyway. She got out of her comfort zone and he agreed to it. He said, just take it out of my account and let's get this done. So on December 16th of 2022, which was only 2 months after she joined our academy, she actually made $11,197 in her bookkeeping business. So her monthly reoccurring income was right on track per that milestone, but she actually made over $11,000 in her second month. So as you guys can see, if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and you're willing to follow our plan, lean on our team for support, you could easily she could easily pay off the entire investment in her second month, and then the remaining 10 months of the academy is like straight profit, right? So pretty cool there. Alicia's another example. She got a $6,000 cleanup job. She joined our academy on November 18th, and she spent about 3 weeks getting her business set up, ready to go. She launched her marketing plan on December 11th, and then 4 days later, on December 15th, she got her first client. And this client was a little bit bigger as well. She charged $1,500 in the monthly fee, but also a $6,000 cleanup job because they were behind 2 years in their bookkeeping. So in her first month of being in the academy, Alicia made $7,500, which is incredible, right? So now you guys can take that money and you can pay off the academy loan, or you can take that money and sit it in your savings account to be able to use it as a cushion for the next, 4, 6, 8 weeks to cover all of your monthly bills. So that way, then you can go ahead and quit your job and focus more on your business, because the more you focus on it, the more time you have to put into it, the faster you're going to reach your goals. So I'm always a huge advocate for people to put that money in their savings, utilize it to be able to quit their job and go all in on their business, which is really cool, right? Now, Kim and Alicia, their cleanup jobs are fairly common. What we see is cleanup jobs that range anywhere from like $2,000 all the way up to $10,000 per cleanup job. In fact, we had 2 people in December in our program that got $10,000 cleanup jobs, which is awesome. Anything above that, we don't see very often at all. But I wanted to show you Jen's cleanup job because it's incredible, and there are these clients out there. So Jen got a $32,000 cleanup job, which is really awesome. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about Jen's journey so you can kind of have an idea. But she joined our program on August 12th of 2022. And the first couple months she was in the program, she just kind of dabbled. She was nervous. She wasn't sure if she made the right decision by starting this business. She was struggling with her mindset. She was struggling with some confidence to get out there and do it. And she wasn't sure if she was, doing her marketing the way that is going to be the most effective. And so we helped her on our Zoom calls, figure out, first of all, is the marketing working? Should you tweak it? Should we do anything different? So we gave her lots of tips on what she was actually doing for marketing and how she could take those steps and make them work better for her. And then also from there, we worked on her mindset. We worked on her confidence. What is holding her back? What is making her hesitate? And so once she was able to get over those 2 things, she just started going, full force ahead with her business. And within 4 months, she was already up to 5 clients. And this 5th client came with a $32,000 cleanup job. So obviously, as you guys can see, in her 4th month, she made like $34,000, which is absolutely incredible, right? And of course, I interviewed Jennifer and even Alicia too on my podcast. You guys can hear it from them, what their journey was like and what their stories were like. But I want to showcase this because I want to show you guys what's possible. Anything's possible. So this could happen to you too, which is really, really exciting. Here's an overview, but I just want to share with you guys, when these ladies got these potential clients, we helped them understand how to handle everything, all the steps leading up to getting paid and all the steps that come after. So just kind of for some examples, how did we help them achieve these results? We helped them understand how to conduct a new client discovery call. So they knew how to ask all the right questions. And then from there, we were able to help them put together a proper quote. And then you can take that quote and we show you how to put together a proposal. So then you can present that to your client so you're able to easily explain the value of bookkeeping and what you're going to be providing. And then the clients will easily say yes. And then once you have the client, we're going to also show you how to efficiently onboard these new clients. And then from there, how to break the cleanup job down into a manageable step-by-step process, and then understand exactly how to do the ongoing monthly work so they can make a minimum of $100 per hour doing this work. But out of everything that we've taught them and all the things listed on here, the most important thing that we taught them was how to find these clients. So what is that called? Do you guys know what that's called? Marketing, right? So we taught them how to do marketing as well. Alicia says, what are some of the startup costs we should anticipate? Okay, yes, I will go into that here very soon, but it's very minimal. Your LLC is mostly, but I have a slide I'll share with you on that so you can see. But for marketing, our students only spend about an hour a day on their marketing. We recommend, as much as you can. And then sometimes they spend that in the beginning. And then as they take on their first few clients, if they're limited on time, they'll stop marketing and they'll focus on learning the bookkeeping skill. and then they'll come back to marketing once they've got their client, situated. But if you can keep consistent with your marketing, that's great, because there's usually like a ramp up period with marketing. So we need you guys to stay as consistent as possible with it. But there are 3 main methods that we teach our students to get clients and to do marketing. Each method has been proven. We've seen students make $100,000 in their first 12 months of the academy, even by only doing one method. And all 3 methods have been proven to do that. So that means you don't have to do them all. So if there's 1 or 2 that you don't really like, you can pick the one and focus on the one that you can do. Now, I recommend doing them all, because if you do them all, you're just going to reach your goals faster and, not have to worry about that part. So the first method that we teach is organic social media marketing. We help you utilize the platforms that you're most familiar with already to find and connect with business owners. So if you use Facebook, and then go into Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups and Instagram, whatever it is that you use, we're going to show you how to do that. We also show you how to post content that actually gets business owners interested in reaching out to you. So it's like called like attraction marketing. You're going to attract the business owners to reach out to you. And then from there, they're going to want to schedule discovery calls with you to learn about bookkeeping services. And that'll give you the opportunity to follow our script on that call and get the information that you need to help quote them. And then this method is typically a $0 investment. We are actually getting ready to do in the next couple of weeks a social media workshop, where you're going to be able to schedule out all of the posts, daily posts every day for the whole year. Which is really, really exciting. So that'll be one and done. You'll be good to go starting at, here in a couple weeks. And you can do that totally for free as well. But we do have a couple of programs that we suggest using just to save your time that you can use. And I think one of them is $100 a month. Totally optional, but could be nice for you to be able to do and save you some time if you've got that extra $100. But typically no cost associated with this. I am fairly certain that Kim, Alicia, and Jen all found their big cleanup jobs by utilizing our social media marketing strategy. Kim actually got her client from the step 1 in our social media strategy, our roadmap. So the second marketing option we have for students is joining networking groups. We show you how to find virtual or in-person networking groups and where these business owners are hanging out. And we help you create a strategy when attending these groups, so you know exactly how to make the most use of your time and how to actually get clients from these groups. And then we're going to show you how you can not only get referrals from the groups, but also be able to establish referral partners. So that way, other members of the group are actually going to be doing marketing for you. And then they're going to start referring their clients, their friends, and their families to you for bookkeeping as well. So these most of these do have a marketing investment of some sort. So for example, if you join an industry exclusive one, those are the best. Those are ones where they only let one bookkeeper be a member of that group. And I joined one of those. I paid $500 for an entire year, and I made over $60,000 in my first year of being a member of that group. So it's really awesome. Even if you're an introvert, these groups can be really great because they're very small, tight knit, and you get to know everybody, and then they all start doing marketing for you. So it kind of helps you to, tiptoe into marketing. But it also was nice because they meet in person, or the one I did, every single week. So it was something I really looked forward to, getting out of the house and being around adults and being able to go and see those people every week. And then the third thing that we teach people how to do is email marketing. So the first step that we help our students with is gathering a large list of business owners and then a large list of tax offices. And then from here, we help you deploy 2 separate email campaigns. And from here, for the business owners, we're helping you get them as new clients, but the tax offices, we're helping you become a partner with several tax offices. So like I mentioned before, when business owners want to go get their taxes done, like right now during tax season, they can't get their taxes done unless their bookkeeping is done first. Now, tax offices get really, really busy, especially during tax season. Some of them either don't like to do bookkeeping or don't have time. And so they typically partner with a handful of bookkeepers. So when they get a new client that's desperate for their taxes to be done, but they haven't done their bookkeeping yet, they refer it to the bookkeepers and say, can you handle this bookkeeping for my client? And then let me know when you're done and I'll do the taxes. And so if you get in good with a few tax offices as partnerships, they will just keep sending you clients month after month, year after year, which is awesome. And then you don't even have to do marketing, which is great. The marketing investment for this can also be zero or free. But if you're open to using some programs, there's like 2 or 3 different programs that we use that can help you do this on a massive scale. And they are about $50 a month each. No commitment, no contract on those things. So you can use them when you want to, which is great. And this is just going to leverage your time. We also just did an email marketing workshop back in October. So when you get into the academy, you're going to be able to go through that email marketing workshop. And our students are just having massive success with this, which is really great. And then I should show you guys a picture. I'll have to dig up this picture of Camille in the academy. She just said, wow, the marketing really does work for the academy, and posted, and she's only been in for a couple months and is already getting a lot of traction with her marketing, which is great. But I'm curious, which marketing method would you choose? Social media, networking, email, or all of the above? So type the number in the chat on what you would actually do as you start your bookkeeping business. All right, Jane and Jolene's going to do all. Heather, social media and email, like that, all for Tende and Avianca. Love that. Great. Okay, and then before I go on to showing you guys what it looks like to actually utilize our team for support, I want to answer that question about other startup and ongoing expenses. So these are the main things that you're going to want or need to pay for outside of investing in the academy. The overhead for a bookkeeping business is very minimal. And if you guys Google Forbes.com, they have an article out there on the top 10 most profitable businesses that you can run. And a bookkeeping business is in the top 3, which is really, really cool. So the overhead is very, very minimal. The first thing that we're going to want you to do is go ahead and file for your LLC. You don't have to do this if money's tight, but it's nice to go ahead and just knock this out and get it out of the way. But the fees for that depend on what state you live in. So for me, I live in Missouri. It's a $50 one-time fee. Yay for Missouri. If you live in California, they charge you $800 every year to have an LLC. You need to eventually have an LLC for 2 reasons, liability protection, but also for taxes. So these, like I mentioned, these businesses are so profitable that you're going to need to do tax planning probably right after your first year. So having an LLC in place already is going to help expedite your tax planning. And then errors and omissions insurance, this is something you don't have to get set up until you get your first client, but it ranges anywhere from 20, 30, maybe $40 a month, just depending on what package that you choose. But it's very minimal. Domain registration. This is like, we have our website, stayatHomeBookkeeper.com, right? So we pay for that domain. So we recommend that you get a domain. And if you pick a good name, it's going to be in this cheaper zone anywhere from $1 to $15 per year to pay for your domain. Might have gone up by now. I think some of my domains are like $20 for the year, $30. And then from there, you'll be able to use your domain to get a company branded email account. We highly recommend doing this. It's anywhere from like $8 to $12 per month, depending on the features that you want for an email account. Then you'll just need a basic laptop or computer to get started. Eventually, you'll want to get 2 monitors, but you don't have to start with that. You'll need access to the internet and Microsoft Excel, which most people already have, and access to most of our programs like QuickBooks Online Accountant and things like that. Those are all free. So these are the basic expenses that you're going to have when you start up. The only other thing that's not listed on here is if you want to utilize our vendor who they're called Prime Corporate Services. They'll actually set up your LLC and they'll do a free consult for you on tax planning and estate planning and business credit, as well as LLC. If you do decide to move forward with our LLC services, they do charge for that, and they'll tell you about that on the call if you want to do that. But that would just be to save you time. So if you want to do your own LLC filing, you can, or you can pay them to do it, either one. So would you guys like to now see how our team actually helps you achieve these results and supports you on this entire journey? All right, Jolene and Heather are ready. Okay. So the first thing that we do is we run some of our support out of a private members only Facebook group. You probably currently have access to our free Facebook group that's pictured here, but we run it out of a small private group. It's called the Piece of Cake Support Group because we're trying to make this whole process a piece of cake for you. But we have about 200 or so students that are in their first year for an awesome sense of community. It's really, really great to connect with other people that are on their same path, their same journey in life, and be able to, know what's working for them and have some friendships there. We underestimate that a lot. When you become a business owner and you start working from home, you don't have coworkers, you don't have those things, right? So it's nice to have friendships in there, people that understand what you're working towards and what you're going through. We also have over 30 students that are in their second, third, and fourth years in our program. When you stay in after the first year, you get half price on your future years, which is really awesome. And so you'll be able to collaborate with them too. Jen, Alicia, they're all in there. Kaylee Douglas, who's gone on 2 tropical masterminds with me. She's the one that's about, I think she's exceeding $500,000 this year. She's in there, and they do guest coaching from time to time. They're on the Zoom calls. You'll get to learn from them, see what questions they're asking, stuff like that, which is really, really cool. And then, of course, we have over 8 coaches in there that are all experts in growing a bookkeeping business, either in growing a business, doing marketing, sales, quoting, actually doing bookkeeping. We have tax experts in there, mindset, all that kind of stuff. So you'll be able to have all of those people at your disposal as well. And how to access them is that we treat the Facebook group like a ticketing system. It's not just a group where you just sit in there and mingle with people. We treat it like a ticketing system. So for every single question you post or submit to our team, we answer everything. And they can be related to any topic you can think of, because everything that happens to you or for you or whatever, it's all going to relate to your business. Because when you grow your business, it's your business. So any personal things that you have questions on as well, like for example, we're helping one of our students understand how to start delegating some of her tasks at home so she can focus more on her business, right? So there's all sorts of things that we help with, but examples of some questions would be sales, marketing, quoting, how to use QuickBooks Online, a technical bookkeeping question, a technical tax question, workflow questions, mindset, things like that. And then we answer these questions 6 days a week. Sundays, our team is off. But if you ask questions at any point in time, other students will also answer, like on Sundays or late at night or whatever. And then our team does come back at the beginning of the next shift and fully answer every question that you post too. So even if you're working on a Sunday, go ahead and throw the question in there. No big deal. But during these hours that we work, we are available over 70 hours a week for our students, and we have an average response time of 45 minutes per question on average, which is really, really awesome. So like I was telling you guys earlier, when you are working with your clients, if they have a question you can't answer, you give them a big buffer. Let me check into that, and I can usually get an answer within 24 hours, but you can usually get an answer with us within less than an hour. So then you can look like a rock star going back to your client, and then you didn't waste any time Googling, watching a bazillion YouTube videos, all to just feel confused when you're done. So this really helps you guys get a quick answer to what you need, moves you past from anything that's keeping you stuck so you can get on to the next best task that will help you accomplish your goals, which is really awesome. And then from there, we also have group Zoom calls. So anywhere from 7 to 8, sometimes more Zoom calls every single week. This is our current schedule right now. The Monday and Friday calls are topic specific. They are mostly for mindset, overcoming what's blocking you. And then the Tuesday through Thursday calls are general Q&A. We call these office hours. So you can hop on and you can ask any question. We have students that are on there that have been in there for a day, and we have students that are on these calls that have been in here for 2.5 years. And so there could be a whole array of questions, but it's an amazing learning opportunity every time you come to one of these calls, which is fantastic. They're scheduled for an hour, but we always stay on until everybody's questions are answered. So sometimes they last several hours, but every question is welcome. Other than support, are there any services you offer after first year? Yes, we do. So after the first year, we have several different programs you can upgrade into. We have currently right now a restaurant mastermind program that will help you take all the skills and the foundation you've built in your business and scale your business, specifically targeting restaurant owners. So if you want to learn how to provide extra value to restaurant owners and scale your business in that industry and learn how to build a team of VAs in the Philippines, we have a specific mastermind all around that. And then we are getting ready to release again an operations mastermind to show you all the different options of how you could build and structure your team. So that way you can scale to that $1 million figure and have a team of like 4 to 5 people doing and executing all of the work. And what does it look like to be a boss? You know, it's a whole nother skill set to learn how to manage a team, manage people, inspire and motivate people. It is not an easy thing to do. So we have a mastermind showing you how to get to that next level. So for those of you that want to make more than $20,000 per month, but you don't want to work more than 40 hours a week, then that's the next step for you. And of course, we also have marketing masterminds to show you how to scale your businesses as well and do it a little bit faster. And we're going to be releasing another little marketing mastermind here in the next couple of months. That's just marketing only. Okay, so you're also going to get access to a client success coach, and she's going to support you one-on-one over email and text. And from here, and sometimes the occasional phone call too, if needed, but she's going to help you with your daily process, your step-by-step process. She's going to text you, email you a lot, keep you accountable to your own goals, because everyone that comes into the program, the first thing we do is get clarity on what those goals are. So we want to know, what do you want to accomplish so that we can help you reach those goals? Because like I mentioned, it is different for everybody depending on where you're at in your life right now. So she's going to get clarity on those goals, and then she's going to help you accomplish them and knowing exactly what step to do. So anytime you have a question for her, she'll be able to direct you to the quickest and best support option, depending on that specific question. Obviously, she's super supportive and motivational, and she's actually a former student. So her name's Christy. She went through our program years ago. She has a really successful bookkeeping business where she makes between $75 and $100 an hour on all of her clients. She has a psychology degree and an IT background. She left a corporate IT job when her bookkeeping business started growing. And then since then, she's retired her husband. Her husband is now home, and he homeschools their four kids, and they handle the bookkeeping business together. And she asked to come back and work full time for us as our client success coach, because she wanted to help inspire you guys to keep taking action and keep moving forward and having the same success that she did in her business. So you'll get to work directly with her as well. And anytime that there is something that you need to learn, she'll point you to the coursework so that you know exactly what to watch. When you get into our academy, you are going to have forever access to most of our coursework. And this coursework is everything you're ever going to need to know to have a successful bookkeeping business. But we don't want you to go through all the coursework um, at at the beginning, because you're going to have access to this forever. So we want you to utilize only the coursework that's actually going to be the most beneficial for you to start making money and reaching your goals. And then as time allows, you can go back and start watching the other things. So for example, if you end up getting a client that says, hey, I want you to do my payroll, and you're like, I haven't watched that video yet. Where do I find it? Christy or the team will tell you exactly where to go to watch that. And then we'll also support you on, filling in the gaps on the knowledge there. So this is the main way that we support our team through the academy. And typically, what that journey looks like when you're in the academy is the first couple of weeks. So let's say you guys join right now. So from now until like mid-January, you're going to go through and learn how to set up your business back office. So this will help you get your LLC done, your email set up, your bank account set up, all of those things so that you're ready for clients. So we'll walk you through everything you need to do to be fully ready for clients, and you'll be working on that. Then from there, you're also going to be watching some tutorials on what are the basics of bookkeeping. You'll understand that, and you'll understand the basics of business ownership. What does it look like? What are the things I need to start thinking about as now that I'm a business owner? And then you're going to watch some trainings on how to provide amazing service to your clients, including a walkthrough of how to do an entire cleanup job for a client for a whole year. And you're going to learn what it's like to do the day-to-day, month-to-month. What are your clients going to be expecting from you? So once you get through those basic trainings, this is going to give you enough to be able to communicate intelligently with a potential client. So you'll be able to at least talk the talk and understand bookkeeping enough to know what you're going to be providing. And so then from there, we'll show you the script and how to conduct a potential client discovery call, and you'll be able to practice that. So that usually is going to happen from now until like, second, third week of January. Then after that, you're going to be moving right on to the marketing. So all the 3 different marketing things that I shared with you here, you're going to go through in-depth training on those as well. Decide which one you want to start focusing on, and then start developing and launching that plan. And so over the remaining couple of weeks in January, you're going to be starting your marketing, hopping into that email marketing workshop, joining networking groups, or starting your social media stuff. So, or all of the above. And so as you're doing that, we're going to help support you on, making sure you're making progress, making sure you're getting feedback and you're getting everything done in the appropriate way. And so if you go through all of that through January, it's highly likely that either by the end of January or rolling into February, you're going to start getting your first few clients, especially with it being tax season. Then from here, obviously you guys are still going to be really new to this, right? But from here, this is where we jump in and help you. So you're going to watch some tutorials on how to do a cleanup job, and you're going to start working through your clients' books. But every step, anytime you have a question or you're stopped, you're going to be able to get help from our team on exactly how to do these cleanup jobs. And we're going to show you how to do the onboarding, how to actually do all of the work. So this hands-on training, it's like a paid internship basically, and you're going to learn so much from your first few clients that all the stuff that you learned in the videos is going to start coming together. And then from here, month 3 through 12, so the rest of February, March, all the way through December, you're going to rinse and repeat. You're going to continue onboarding, working with new clients. We're going to help you with that. Over time, with our support and our training and your experience working with clients, you're going to become an expert bookkeeper. So this time next year, you're going to be one of those success stories that I share on this slide, which is awesome. And with our support and our safety net, you're going to have the ability to say yes to clients from all industries. So even if you've never worked with someone in the restaurant space or the construction space or a salon or something like that, we'll be able to help you with that so that you can get experience working in all industries. And then this is really going to help us help you set the foundation for a profitable business that gives you the financial location and time freedom that you guys are looking for. So this is how we help. This is kind of like your expected, journey, timeline, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm curious at this point, does anybody have any questions on anything, or did I just knock all the questions out of the park? What do you guys have? What can I answer? The next steps would really be to apply for our program by filling out our form, and I'm going to put that in the chat here in a second. But I would love to know what questions that you guys have for me right now. And let me put some links in the chat for you for anybody that is interested in doing this. Okay, so I'm going to type these in here. Oh, it didn't copy again. This happened last time. I'm going to copy and paste these links. Everyone hear me okay? Maybe my internet's not working so well. Webinar links. Okay, I'm glad you can hear okay, Jolene. So is anybody going to apply for funding today? I want to look out for your application. And of course, my husband, Sean, and our team, they're going to be reaching out to you guys as well. Let's see. Okay, so videos financing, the financing could come in lower than the 640 per month, but we want everybody to assume that it's going to be that because in order for it to be lower, you have to have really good credit or a very low debt to income ratio. So on that note, Jane, that very first link, the US based funding, that's the link you would want to apply. I always encourage people, wait and apply when you have a $640 down payment, because if your credit isn't great and you go right into our guaranteed funding, they are going to expect you to hop on a call and pay that $640. Now, if you do have good credit, and you think you might be able to get a traditional lending, you can still apply with that link. And you could potentially have payments lower than that. They could be as low as like 290. But that is only for people that have really good credit, which is, let's face it, almost nobody these days. So it's really hard. But if that is you, you're welcome to go ahead and apply and see. For anybody else, if you don't think you have, good enough credit to get approved for a $12,000 loan right now, you should still click that link. But once you have your $640 down payment available, because the lender moves super fast, and it takes about 5 minutes to apply. Within a couple of hours, you'll either get a pre-approval or a guaranteed approval notification, and they'll ask you to book a call, make your down payment, sign the papers, and you're in. And it's really fast. It doesn't take long at all. If you're in Canada, there's a separate link there. And then if you guys are interested in just hopping in right now, you can do the down payment of $3,000 or pay in full. Yes, so Jane, you can definitely do that top link. And if you're ready, if you're okay with the $640 payment, if you don't get approved for the smaller payment, then go ahead, definitely give it a try right now. If you go through the approval, no, you do not have to use it. They do charge us a $3 fee for people that apply. So we're always like, well, make sure you want to do this. Also, another thing people don't quite understand is they're not going to give you this money. It's going to go straight to us as you make the monthly payments. So it's just financing for our program. It's not like a cashback type of thing for most people. So, but no, you don't have to go through and accept it. If for some reason you apply and then you're like, I think I would rather pay in full or get my own loan or something like that, you can definitely do that. Keep in mind though, that there is interest on the loan, but if you pay it off in 12 months, it's interest free. So I did see paperwork from the last few people that came in, and the APR is 24.99%, which honestly is like less than those high interest credit cards. So, but that's all null and void if you pay it off in 12 months. So it's 0% if you pay it off in 12 months, or you can opt to pay the interest if you want to take longer to pay it. So it's totally up to you guys. And if you would rather, if you know you're going to pay it off in 12 months and you have the $3,000 down, you can go ahead and just do that and still get interest-free payments and pay us directly. When you pay the $3,000 down, we give you 90 days before your next payment kicks in. So that gives you some time to get some traction with your business, which is cool. I don't think they refund the interest after it's paid in full, Jane. I think what happens is you have a payment schedule, and if you pay a total of $12,000 in 12 months, then they revert all of the interest portion to principal and then mark your loan as paid in full. I'm assuming that's how they do it. So you wouldn't have to pay like extra and then have them refund your interest. That if you just paid that $12,000 in full. And they'll be sending you paperwork. So you'll have, a loan detail schedule and how all that works to be able to pay it off early. Mhm. Great question. Has anybody applied for funding? I want to be able to watch out for your application too. I'd love for you guys to all get in because tax season is starting. It's going to be such a great, easy time for you guys to get clients, especially with our email marketing workshop that we just did a few months ago that you'll be able to roll right into, and our social media marketing workshop coming up. That's going to be really, really awesome for you guys. And we only do those in the academy right now, so pretty awesome. Anybody else have any questions for me? Anything else they are unsure of? Let's see. Is it possible to start this business without the debt? Example, starting with the bookkeeper course and increasing the support level as money is saved. I get that people want to do that. I really do. But the problem with that is typically when people start with the bookkeeping course, they have a lack of confidence of doing it on their own. So then, therefore, they don't really have the results. Um, and so they don't go out and take the action. You know what I mean? So it could take you a lot longer to do it that way. I have people that have been joining our program that have been watching us for years, and they always say they kick themselves for dabbling and trying to figure out on their own, because if they would have just came in and taken out that loan or invested in it, they would have made, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars more by now. If they wouldn't have just tried to dabble and do it themselves, they would have just jumped right in. So I totally get and the debt part, and it's my goal to help everyone become debt free. I'm working towards that. I'm a couple of months away from being completely and utterly debt free. And that's what I want for everybody else as well. So I would not advocate you getting yourself into more debt for something like a car or a couch or jewelry or whatever it is, or even like going on a vacation. I wouldn't advocate that because none of those things are going to help you pay that debt off. But when you invest into yourself and into a business, that business is going to be able to pay that debt off and then pay off all your other debt. So while it sounds great to kind of like do it slowly and like save up money and then jump in, you're actually costing yourself so much more potential money in the form of missed earnings than if you would have just jumped right in. You know what I mean? So, everybody's situation is different though, and maybe it's just that's what you have to do. But if you can avoid that, then it's better. It's better to jump in and be able to start making more money and then annihilate that debt really quickly. So awesome, Jolene. Looking forward to having you in there. So exciting. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, and Heather, I'm happy to talk you through that. We don't pressure anyone to, join up. So my husband hops on calls with people all the time. When I first started my bookkeeping business, he was very skeptical. And he was like not 100% on board for me doing it. I didn't care. I did it anyway. But he was very nervous. He's like, what if something happens? And I thought to myself, I kind of like change. So I was like, well, I love my job. I love the people I work for, but I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel like I'm paid what I'm worth. And I'm working all this time for almost nothing now that we have a nanny. So I was like, well, whatever. If it doesn't work, I'll just go get another job. But so I felt like, what is there to lose? What, at the end of the day, what's there to lose? But that's a mindset that I have been, working on over time, right? I've invested in a ton of things. I went through the whole Grant Cardone, pretty much everything he offers, almost with the exception of his tropical mastermind. Haven't done that yet. I've invested in pretty much every single thing. And some of those things, I'll be honest, it was crap. It didn't work out. And it caused me to have a little bit of debt. But some of those things that I did get debt from were incredibly helpful. And I have implemented a lot of those things into my business. And now those things are like annihilating my debt. And then I'm going to be having like, massive savings accounts. So, you know, I don't mind taking risk, but that's what a business owner does. You eventually have to get comfortable with taking some risk because it is like, what I'm asking you guys to do is put money into something that you don't know if it's going to work for you. How could you know? You don't have a crystal ball, right? I know it'll work for you if you take action, right? But at the end of the day, it is a risk. It's an investment into something that is not guaranteed, right? But it's up to you to make that. So it's just like school though, right? If you invest in college or anything like that, and then you don't show up to the classes and you get all Fs after a certain period, they don't give you, you don't get a chance to get your money back or anything like that. So you just, take that risk, but it is what you put into it, right? So if you show up to class every day, you get the support, things like that, you're gonna have success with it, right? Let's see. What was this question? I have a security freeze. Do you know which bureau to unfreeze it, or just you freeze them all for the funding approval? I'm assuming you're probably going to have to do like a across the board, all like unfreeze, go through the funding, and then after the funding's done, if you want to refreeze it, you're totally welcome to do that. But you probably will have to unfreeze it to get working through everything. I have never frozen my credit before, so I have no idea how to do that, but I'm sure there's Google or somewhere will tell you. I saw that, Jane. Very cool. Jane just applied. Congratulations, Jane. So exciting. I love it. Let's get you to Florida. All right. So, any other questions? You guys are asking really, really great questions. Yeah, way to go, Jane. I love that. Awesome. And my team is going to be so excited to learn about your goals and help you create that map and that plan to reach them. So it'll be great. All right. Anything else? I won't be back on here until Thursday, live anyway. So if you guys have any questions, now's your chance. Of course, be expecting a text and an email from my husband, Sean, and he will also get back with you as well on any questions that you have. So through the funding process, but also if you're still trying to make that decision on, how should I do this or when should I do it type of thing, he's happy to talk through it. And we've talked to many spouses as well. So if you have a spouse that is, apprehensive about this, Sean's happy to talk to them too. So, all right, well, I am going to hop off and, Jane says, is this a soft hit or hard hit? So at first it'll do a soft hit, but when they go through and finalize everything and you move forward, they will do a hard hit. So the first part is just a soft. And so then you'll see, Jane, what will happen with you is pretty soon they're going to give you either a pre-approval notification or a guaranteed approval notification. So if you get in the pre-approval notification, you'll have to go through income verification and everything, but then that's where they will present to you potentially a lower payment plan. If you don't qualify for that, they'll go right into the guaranteed approval process. And from there, you'll book a call with them, make your payment, agree to the terms, and then they'll pull a hard credit check and finalize everything. So that's how that works. You are very welcome, Jolene. Thank you for being on here this whole time. So that's just until I accept that, then it goes to hard hit. Yes, that is my understanding. It doesn't do a hard hit until you move forward. So you're going to get this pre-approval, no harm to your credit on the pre-approval. And then once you do take the next step to move forward, that's when they'll do the hard hit. Heather says, can I use household income? Yes, absolutely. You can use household income, or you could also use your spouse's information to apply. What I've had people do in the past is they've had their spouse apply. If their spouse has the income and better credit, you can have them apply first to see if they get a better deal. And then if not, then you can apply under your name if you want, or if your spouse doesn't want to utilize their name, then yeah, you're more than welcome to apply under your name. But yes, I believe you should be able to use the whole household income. Absolutely. Great question. Yep, absolutely. All right. Anything else? Any other questions you can think of, guys? Let's see. One new. Does this program fully work for Canadian bookkeeping? Can I get help with Canadian taxes and payroll when I need them? Yes. So we have a Canadian coach. Her name is Robin. She's actually the one that runs our mindset calls on Mondays and Fridays. And she is a mindset coach, but also her and her husband started a bookkeeping business back in July. And within about 3 months, they made $20,000. And I don't know this for sure, but I think all of their clients are Canadian, because they've gotten a lot of them through, just their local connections and their Canadian efforts. So we do have coaches in there that can help you with Canadian. Um, as far as taxes goes, there are some taxes like GST and HST and things like that we can help with. When it comes to income taxes, though, we will recommend that you partner with a Canadian income tax specialist, and that person can help send you referrals, but also like they stay up on the tax law and stuff. But we can help you with the bookkeeper aspect of what you need to know for taxes, payroll, and all that kind of stuff for Canada and the US. Yep, absolutely. The only thing, Rosaline, with the Canadian is you have to use the Canadian funding link if you want to come in through funding. And they don't offer guaranteed approval. So it is fully based on credit. Canada is so much more strict than the US when it comes to lending laws, too. So we haven't had anyone yet be approved through our Canadian lenders, unfortunately. We ask that you apply for that first, but then if for some reason they don't approve you, we have a couple of different payment options that we can offer you internally, if you're in Canada. Of course, the other thing to note with Canada is the conversion rate. It makes it a little bit more expensive for you, but still at the end of the day, even if it is like, I think 16 Canadian dollars, is that right? Canadian dollars. Um, Canadian currency, even if it is that 16,000 and you make 100,000 in your first year, it's still a great investment. So I always hate for people to, turn away from that because of the conversion rate too. But let us know, Rosaline, if you decide to apply for the Canadian and it doesn't work for you, we can work with you on getting you into the academy on a payment plan internally. Yeah, absolutely. Always happy to help explain and provide clarity and details. All right. Okay, well, what I'm gonna do is have my team and have my husband shoot you guys all a text and email so that way you guys have access to the recording. And if there's any other questions that pop up, feel free to respond to him and we can clear that up and get you guys moving towards your goals. So have a great weekend and I hope to see you guys in the academy and or on the call next Thursday. All right. Bye guys. See you later.